Live from New York City, you're watching the CW11 Morning News.
All right, thank you so much, Julie. It is 6:36. Details are emerging about the mental state of the D.C. Navy Yard shooter, Aaron Alexis. But why was he able to fly under the radar with such a history? You know, mental health and workplace violence expert Carolyn Wolf is now here to join us and talk to us more about this issue. We've seen school violence, we've seen workplace violence. Why does it continue to move on the way that it is?
Well, I think we need to change the conversation. We talk about gun control.
Yes.
We talk about stigmatizing people with mental health issues. We need to start to look at prevention, funding for services and prevention.
And when you talk about that, you were saying the shooting puts a spotlight on veterans administrations. And what sort of improvements do you say need to be made to be able to protect those people who serve and also the rest of the society?
Well, we know that people with mental health issues benefit from treatment and can actually get better and recover. We can't cure them, but we can make them better.
Okay, so how do you know? That's what I want to know. There were a lot of red flags. People say that he was hallucinating a couple of weeks prior, but you know, lots of friends are quoted as saying they didn't know when to step in and they feel that they failed him and as a result failed us.
Right. Well, we have to start to also learn how to connect the dots. We saw it in Virginia Tech, we saw it in Newtown, we see it in all these shootings. It's the same story every time. When you go back and look, you say, yes, we should have known this, we could have seen this. So we actually go around the country and work with workplaces and college campuses to set up systems for people to be trained to identify red flags, report to a multidisciplinary centralized system, and people know how to take action and respond, get them help, get them into treatment, get workplace support, whatever it might be. But we have to start setting up systems to connect the dots.
Listen, he isn't the first disgruntled worker, so how do you know what the telltale signs are when you know that somebody is going to be on the edge and cross that line?
We can train lay people to identify what we call red flag behaviors, a change in behavior. Somebody's very calm, quiet, interactive, suddenly they become isolative. They talk about hurting someone or hurting themselves. They talk about buying a gun or another weapon. You can actually train people to notice that, talk about it, feed it into a central system, and be able to take some positive action.
You keep talking about this central system. What is that?
We call them behavioral intervention teams or threat assessment teams. They're multidisciplinary groups or teams in an organization that is trained to receive information, triage it, level of threat, level of problem, and actually make recommendations to get someone into help or treatment.
Are there places like this in every workplace? Because I've never heard of anything like this.
Well, there actually aren't, and that's the problem.
Okay.
We see them on college campuses. We saw them a lot after the Virginia Tech shooting, and they're actually very successful. And my office is working to move that idea and program into the workplace.
Obviously, we need to, Virginia Tech being another red flag. I don't know how many times we have to talk about this again and again before a system is put into place. You say there are situations that actually happen at the workplace that could trigger violence?
Well, I think stress. People are prone to be reactive, become aggressive, become violent. If they have other issues going on, I think the economy has led to stress in the workplace, the pressure to keep jobs, get jobs. I think all of that certainly contributes to it, but you can actually see, you know, someone moving into a changing mental status.
You absolutely can, and obviously people, especially with what happened in Washington, saw him moving into a different mental status.
Many people saw him moving into a different mental status. No one connected the dots.
They felt powerless, so we need to help connect those dots. Thank you so much. She's going to stick around, Carolyn is. She's going to be joining us in the next hour with more on how you can spot these red flag behaviors in your workplace and find solutions so things don't happen the way it turned out in Washington. Time right now is 6:40. We will be right back.